Hey, welcome everybody to my digital marketing channel. Today I want to share a few lessons about the growth in my stock market YouTube channel. This is something that I started as kind of like a passive effort. Stocks are something that I follow adamantly and do tons of research on. So investing is a key hobby, I guess, if you will, of mine. So making a stock market channel was pretty natural. And although I sort of trickled into it and was kind of like in and out, like, do I really like this thing? I made a commitment in 2020 that I was going to push harder. And I want to share with you like some of the things that I found out here as we come to the end of 2020. What were the key lessons that I learned and what sort of advice would I share with other small YouTubers as they're growing their channel? That's what this video is about. So let's jump in. All right, so right off the bat, this is my stock market channel, 40 Finance channel. Got 14,000 or so subscribers, which is great. I'm into monetization level and all those things. The goal, though, is definitely much higher. I mean, when I rolled into 2020 and I decided that I was going to dedicate, X amount of my week to this channel, we've had some good rides. But I would say that I'm behind on my expectation, just to be 100% fair. I have a lot of fun with this channel because I just love reading about stocks, and it's been really interesting to see different people's reaction and encouragement and stuff like that. So it's been an awesome ride from a human perspective. But business-wise, I definitely have some things that I need to ramp up here. This channel effectively started, I think, in late 2018. However, I did have a couple breaks in there where I didn't post videos because I was working on other things in the digital marketing world. Now, when 2020 came around, I actually made a complete career shift in my world and went from a full-time employee to more or less like a consultant / freelance work. And part of that transition really was to focus more on family and having more flexibility as far as schedule goes with the kids running everywhere and all that. And what it's turned out to be is really just a blessing in disguise with all the stuff that's went on with the pandemic. And it's been great to focus on different things and kind of have some creative outlet, while at the same time having an opportunity not only to push myself from a digital marketing perspective, but also the potential to earn some revenue from this. To date, I've got probably 200 or so videos on here. The majority of them, I would say, came in 2020. So regular posting is something that I've taken seriously. I think that, any sort of YouTube tip video you're going to watch, it's going to be the same thing over and over, but regular posting is definitely up there. All right, so the first tip that I want to share, or the first lesson that I've learned, is kind of the importance of virality with YouTube. There's just like this cap, and we're here on my channel analytics. There's sort of this impression click-through cap that you can see you get in these waves of, and it's basically the difference between how your channel performs like on a regular basis. If you can hit a really popular topic with great click-through and sort of great engagement, then you can actually break through these impression caps, is what I found. But it's not easy to do, and there's not necessarily an explanation for why some videos perform well over the others. So this is a 90-day chart for me, and you can see, honestly, we'll get into the big ones here in a second, but since, I don't know, Wednesday, September 23rd, I was coming off of a couple videos that blew up, and I am basically stuck in this impression cap right now, at least until I break out with another video that gets people super excited. So for me, the breakout sort of started, it looks like back here, there was early August, I had a couple videos, Disney and Roku stock. Then the biggest thing that happened was on August 29th, I published an Apple video, which is something that I do quite a bit, honestly, just talking about Apple stock. And you can see how this went up so high. It basically went from 52,000 one day on impressions all the way up to 133 and then 138. Then that started to sag, right? Because everybody's publishing Apple stock stuff. It's not like that one was going to live forever, but it started to dip. And somewhere in here, I followed it up with a topic that I don't cover as much, and that was Tesla. And you can see what happened is the Tesla video coming off the heels of this roller coaster, that Tesla one, it sort of went up too, and it had a great run. But these dips kept coming down, right? So nothing was as popular as Apple, but eventually that popularity starts to fizzle out and you're back to normal. So I guess my first takeaway here is if you're trying to grow bigger, as I am too, you definitely need to try to aim for breakout videos. Now, that's great, right? Everybody tries to have a breakout video. I don't necessarily know why this Apple video has done necessarily better than some of the others, or the Tesla one. Both of those stocks are covered sort of ad nauseum across YouTube. So it's not like I was the only game in town, but it resonated well. It probably came out at a great time. And it just struck, for whatever reason, a ton of people were on YouTube, and it got that kind of lift right out of the gate. And if you can get that lift right out of the gate, then it sort of snowballs, and it does a lot of great things for your channel, but it doesn't last forever. So in summary, though, I would say that make sure that the majority of your videos have an opportunity to appeal to the widest possible audience in your niche. I'm not even a big fan of Tesla stock, to be real honest with you. I'm more of a traditional investor, and there's a lot of reasons why some people think Tesla stock is overvalued. But I do like talking about it and sharing my opinion, but I can't talk about Tesla every day because I really just don't care that much about it. And that leads me to the second lesson, and that is the difference between what people want to watch and what you're talking about. And I think the key here is really just honesty when you're trying to grow a channel. Not everything that you like to talk about is going to be the type of thing that goes viral, right? And I've had to learn that a lot in stocks. Like, I don't talk all day long about EV stocks, right? Electric vehicle stocks. I also am very conservative when it comes to a lot of the growth stocks from a financials perspective. So what I've really started to realize is I know that some of the stocks that I love, like PayPal, for example, it doesn't get viewers as interested. I get support on my PayPal videos. I'm trying to find one here. All right, here's one from about a week ago, 2.5 thousand views. Netflix right next to it, 1.3 thousand. So this isn't so bad, but if I go over to, let's just say Intel, and Intel is a stock that I actually do like, but just to give you an example, that one did 5,000 views, right? And most of that is because of the subject matter that I'm talking about. It's not so much that anybody very specifically is looking for my comments on Intel. Etsy is the same thing. I just bought into Etsy stock, and you can see that unfortunately for me, being a shareholder, I could talk about Etsy all day, but this 1,500 view count doesn't look super promising if I ran an entire channel about Etsy stock, right? Here's Microsoft, though, which is a wildly popular one, and that's 4.3K views. So Microsoft, obviously, larger, bigger stock, a lot more people have interest in it. So the bottom line on all this is, everybody says, passion project, and make sure you talk about the things you like because it'll really show up on camera, all those things. I would say that is true, but you cannot niche down to something so specific that you're going to either be hit or miss, right? And I think that that's where you have to be open with yourself, even if it means talking about topics that maybe necessarily you're not as passionate about, but also that you may have a different opinion about. All right, so the final lesson for me as I've been building up this channel is just trying to understand, what is the business case for this channel? Can I do this and not necessarily become rich But how much energy do I have to put into this in order to get an ROI on my time? As much as I like to talk about stocks, and believe me, I could do it all day, every day to some degree, there's a certain point where I have to manage my time too and my family and make sure that I'm making money across all my available opportunities. So I would say for me, for YouTube, is when I've had those spikes, and you can see this is September here. You can see when the spikes are up, you can hit these $100 days or whatever they are. But over time, my channel is barely monetizable, right? So you're talking about $20 here, $20 there. So for me right now, the question is, do I think I can build this business into more? And two, what is going to be the way that this business makes any kind of money, right? I'm not trying to sell some sort of $1,000 product that promises you 400% on stocks. That's not what we're doing here. But it looks like, at least early, that ad revenue from YouTube is probably not going to be the answer for my stock market channel. Just knowing that the topics and the stuff that I dig into has a limited audience. In my space, there's good competition. There's plenty of stock market channels. There's some big dogs from the personal finance side that, frankly, they have hundreds and thousands of subscribers, and that is very unlikely going to be me, because of just the way you can just tell by how they do their channels that they're just very engaging. And while I am always working to improve, I'm not going to be jumping off the walls talking about electric vehicle stocks and, doing somersaults and stuff in the middle of the camera. It's just not going to happen. So for me, in order to make this like a legitimate business that I enjoy doing, I'm going to have to monetize my channel very likely in a different way. Right now, my thoughts are, obviously there's the membership front that I could do and the sharing of information. But on the same token, I just refuse to have anything that's like a high price thing. I'm here to help people, just like on this channel with digital marketing. On the other channel, it's really just more or less sharing my thoughts. So I'm not going to go out and become a guru, but I am going to have to figure out a way to bring a couple more dollars in for the time that I spend on the channel. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed these 3 lessons from a person who has a small YouTube channel that they're trying to grow. Good news is I also have this digital marketing outlet, which has been underdeveloped for a long time, and I am going to continue to post here, probably not every day, but I do want to share my thoughts on digital marketing because I've had so much of that in my career track. So hopefully I can provide some tips on the marketing front for you as well. As always, please give a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. We'll see you on the next video.